Okay, we are starting.
Right on.
Hello. Good
Hello.
morning. Good morning, Simplefixty. How are you today?
Quite good, thank you.
Okay.
Awake.
Yeah, you're awake. That's good because a conversation is so much better if both parties are awake. So, yeah. Um, Maybe just to introduce yourself to the listeners who don't know you yet. Can you just say who you are, where you're from, and what you're making for music?
Yeah, sure. I'm from Norway, and I started Simplefixty in around 2012, 2011, somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been making albums over different yes, like I've been changing the style and the sound all the time because I like to kind of investigate new sounds and develop new interesting patterns in stuff. It's like, if to me it's science, really. I
Mm-hmm.
like to develop new sounds, so many people may not understand why I change the sound all the time, but it's kind of why I'm into music at all, because I want to develop new things. Um, I've been working on the Simplifixty project now since 2006, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I started putting things on the internet, like new albums and stuff like that, in 2011 on Yamendo first, and then later on Bandcamp and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then just in preparation for this talk, I checked your Bandcamp stuff, and I'm kind of there's like over 50 albums out there. Do you know how many albums you have out there?
Oh my God. I think it's like 100 or something. It's like I'm overdoing it, like hell, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's like that with me, because you don't have to like every album or even listen to it. To me, it's just an evolution of sound or something.
Mm-hmm.
Really, yes.
For you, it's basically hard to stop what you're doing. So because you're so much into it, that you just, I mean, like literally, I just checked, and there was something you put out yesterday or something. Is it right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So and for me, my biggest problem with you is actually that I mean, I like songs more, some more and some less, but I have never really found something I didn't like. So, it doesn't really matter which album I pick. I know I will like it. Maybe not the entire album, and there will be some things I like more, and some, like I said, I like less. But there's so much good stuff you do. It's crazy. It's really really crazy. So maybe let's get a little bit in the background of it, because I mean now we know how long you do music, but where are you coming from? I mean, because I know you already a little bit better, so here I'm a little bit biased to ask questions people would ask who don't know you. But what I also don't know yet is where are you coming from musically? I mean, when did you learn to play the guitar? Are you self-taught? How did you come to discover the sounds you like and the bands you like? Maybe talk about this, where you're coming from, music-wise.
Yeah, right. Well, all the dubstep and the metal and stuff like that, like the guitar, learning to play the guitar, I am self-taught.
Mm-hmm.
And the industrial and everything is self-taught. I've just developed it over years and years. The thing is that I was interested in music since I was like 10 years old or something. So I started learning chords and notes and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then it like went into a frenzy over the years, because it became so important to me to express myself and and the things that I've seen in the world, good and bad. I was really impressed by some bands like Pink Floyd, Tangerine Dream, newer things like Nine Inch Nails, Rammstein, and so on, have all done very well with the sound, with the impression they leave. So they have kind of inspired me to develop the sound further on, and like like Sisters of Mercy. Oh, good stuff.
Oh yeah. I guess the listeners will already know that. I call you my brother, and I really feel sometimes we're really like family. We are kind of so similar in the things we like, and kind of we got influenced by the same stuff. I love Rammstein. I love Sisters of Mercy. It's just this is the stuff we grew up with, I guess. But maybe before we get into swooning and how much we love each other. So you grew up in Norway, I take it, because you are from Norway.
Yes.
And as far as I know, you were in a smaller town, or where did you grow up? So I mean, how did you get introduced to the music we both love?
Yes. Well, first I was living in a small town in around the Sultal area in Norway, and then the child's care took us, me and my sister, and placed us around all around Norway, like in homes, and I ended up in a child's care home.
Okay.
Like and when I was living around places, and my soul was kind of darkening because of all the things I went through, I started listening to darker music, and it kind of, I don't know what to say, it soothed the pain.
I see.
In a way. So like when I found the right sound, and I found the right music, I was like 15, 16 years old, and then I just understood this is what I want to do, like more dark and more intelligent kind of expressions. And in my later years, before I got old, I went through a lot of shit in my life, and like I derailed for a while.
Okay.
And experienced a lot of things that like I got psychotic, I got schizophrenic, and so on, and was like in the mental house for a while, a couple of times, and I got medication for it, and so on and so on and so on. But living with mental stress like that, it makes you really view life in a different way. And everything you hear, because the voices in your head are always tearing at you. So I've been fighting with this for like 10, 12 years now, and it's finally wearing off. I'm kind of getting control of it, and have the right medication, and yes, I'm doing all right, actually. And it's starting to show in my music, because it's not so dark anymore.
It's true. It's true. I noticed this as well.
Not so evil and tempered. More tempered, yes.
And you also got into video production. I mean, you're doing this rendering stuff, and kind of this animation movies for your music. So you put out videos. So this is another thing you kind of. I think you are also self-taught, and you just looked up things on the internet and put things together.
Mm.
And also
That's right.
With the whole music production, this is also something you learned yourself, or is there someone in your area who showed you, how to use a DAW, digital audio workstation, or how did you start with that?
I did what I'm best at. I went into the FL and the Cubase and so on, and just studied it, and that's how I learned to use everything.
I see. Have you ever played in a band? Did you really have some live experience?
A bit, a little, but when I got these illnesses, I don't really had the capacity to stand in front of a crowd anymore.
I see.
Too much impressions, really. But before that, I was playing for like a whole school at the time and so on, and trying new stuff and it was fun, really fun to play for a lot of people. But it's today I have to. It's a real challenge to speak to just one person, really. Sometimes at the time. So I'm working on it. But yes, I had some experience with it. Yes.
Yeah, I see. So thank you again that you have time for me today, because like you said, I know you are you're a very delicate mind. So and I don't want to, I wanted to talk with you because I love you, my brother. That's that's the truth. How I feel. You make great music, and I remember I was actually sitting in the doctor's office, because as I was young, I blow my my eardrums out because I was doing too much punk music and never used any ear protection. So it's better for you. You might have not the issue I have now. Anyway, I was sitting at the doctor's office to get my ears checked, and I got your text with I'm gonna sing for you. I'm gonna be the singer of Simplefixty, or the project we have now. And I was like, this was a big dream come true, because your music is just my kind of style. You really anyway, sorry, I'm swooning. I'm a fanboy here. But let me give you a virtual hug from very far away from Germany.
Cool.
Anyway, so now the listeners know that I'm very, very biased when I talk with you, because you're kind of someone I look up to, and your production values have become better and better, and I followed you, of course, and I'm really happy that I found you by chance, because the radio, I'm also a member of Plays Your Music, and I was like, what is this? Simplefixty, and then, oh wow, this is a cool song, and oh, this is a cool song, and this is a cool song, and then it was everything I listened to was a cool song, and I was like, I cannot even say what my most favorite song is. Anyway, so and let's stop this. You know that I love you. Stop it now here, and so. At the moment, you're living still in the small town, right?
I moved back there. I moved back there to kind of help out my mother, because she needs help from day to day now. She's old and stuff, and I'm taking care of things. And I've always been that way. That if people needs it, I will take care of things.
Yep.
That's my way of being. And I've bought a little house that I live in and work in, and made it a studio.
Yeah,
so all is well.
The studio in the woods, right? It's a little bit further out, and I saw, of course, your pictures with lifting stones and stuff. So you're keeping busy. And
Bald.
yeah. So, okay, you already said what kind of your influences are and where you're coming from, music-wise. So, one question is, where would you like to go to? You already said that it's gonna be you're now in a better place. That I'm pretty happy for you, and so your music becomes a little bit more. I would not say happy, but more light, maybe more light is showing in the music. So, what is your direct? You wanna branch out to do some different kind of styles, or are you just want a kind of your style, which kind of metal step, right? This is what you created.
Yeah.
Do you want to make this lighter, or do you also want to branch out a little bit to different styles?
Both. I want to evolutionize the style as it is, but I also want to make it a bit brighter. Because I've been dwelling too much in like the dark part of the metal step and dark step and so on, and it kind of wears me out. I want people to feel some kind of happiness too in some of the songs, in some of the albums, not just the power, but also the kind of search for light in life. I don't mean like a religious light. I mean like hope. Because we are in dark times. We have idiots controlling our systems and people, and they are running around and fucking up everything. Like Trump over there, he doesn't know the back of his ass. He's just fucking things up all the goddamn time. Everything he says is a lie. And that makes me like really angry because people deserve better. Everybody deserves better than this. And we have the COVID-19 that's running around and making people sick and depressed, and it's a lot of darkness. So what I'm trying to do is introduce some kind of hope in the music. So we will survive. We will somehow evolve into a better state. I think so. I hope so.
Yeah, no, I have hope as well. I mean, how are the COVID-19 cases in Norway at the moment? I don't really know.
Well, they were better for a while, and now it's starting to go up again because people were like having parties all the time, and then suddenly it was like, oh, we're at the yellow. So
yeah, people become a little bit bored and careless with the whole thing. The same here in Germany. I just heard in the news we have now 1,400 cases, new cases. So we are climbing up as well. So where everyone talks about a second wave, and yeah, I think it will come. Let's see. I mean, Russia has said they have a vaccine now. I doubt it a little bit. They're closer to you, the Russians, but still, yeah, I think we are. Yeah, we still have to tough it out a little bit, and I kind of understand people who want to have back their old life, but I don't think it will be ever like the old life again.
No.
Because yeah, with Corona, we're gonna stay with us for a while. I mean,
yes,
forever,
I think
most
we
likely.
are being forced to change our lifestyles. That it's some kind of way of nature to say to us that you are destroying too much, you are taking up too much space, and you are like doing this to yourselves in a way, because the virus is just one thing that's wrong with the world. When it all comes to all, we have changed so many things and polluted and done so many things as the human race has. And the result is coming, and it's on its way, and we have to change to survive. An antidote to the COVID-19 is just a bitsy part of everything we have to change to survive. Yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah. I can only say yes to that. That's a solemn part. But and the unfortunate thing is, like in okay, I can talk about my personal history, but of course also of a human history. Humans only change if things are really dire, if things are really bad. Because if you ask nicely, oh man, can you pollute less, or can you do this a little bit less and stuff, nobody will listen to you. But if it's life threatening, and your life is literally on the line, then things will change. So in a way, it can be. I would like to see it as a wake-up call with this COVID-19. That it's kind of. We were so careless and carefree, and doing weekend trips to New York just to go shopping, and having more plastic bags in the ocean, and and all this stuff. And now we have to think about it a little bit. Is it really worth it? Is it really? I guess we are both more in thought about these things. What is really worth it? I mean, just seeking these.
Superficial things.
Exactly, the superficial pleasures. I mean, I can understand it, and it's fun. I like to go also out for the ice cream and not think about all the weight of the world all the time. Of course, But on the other hand, it's I'm really on board if it's if you talk about scaling back a little bit and stepping back. I don't buy new clothes only if really everything I have is broken or something. But I have so much stuff, I can go on for a long while before I need to buy some new stuff. And also, I mean, you're a musician as well, of course. I really need to restrict myself to buy new gear because, oh man, there's a new guitar, and there's a new keyboard, and there's a new, there's so much nice new stuff, but I don't need it. I don't even use the stuff I have right now. So, I mean, not not in the full capacity. So why would I need more stuff just to be hip and to have the newest stuff? And I don't even use the things I got. So people should really get into this. Another thing is, I don't know, in Norway, yeah, I don't know. But anyway, the thing, I live in a big city is a little bit a stretch, but a bigger city. And people have cars here, of course, yeah, but they don't use them as often as, so that we really rely on them, So they could get, most of them, half of them could get rid of their cars and wouldn't feel any trouble, but we don't, because once a week or every 2 weeks we go big shopping, and then they need a car because then they need it, and then they move it. So that's, if we just think a little bit and make it not always so convenient for us, and instant gratification and all this stuff, then yeah, we could get better with the world. Is it the right word or something? I guess you in your house in the woods, you're kind of how you say, self-empowered? No,
Reliant.
Self-reliant. Exactly, you're self-reliant, and so what do you have for? You're using wood to fire up the place or something, or to heat the place?
What do you mean?
For cooking or something? What do you use for energy? I guess you have electricity as well. Of course, you need.
Well, it's coffee, and it's beef and steak and so on. I'm a meat eater.
I see.
I'm like a predator or something. I just love the taste of chops and so on, and like meat in general. It's I don't know why. And when it comes to moving around, I usually walk because it's good for me. And If I need to get over a large distance, I just like ask a neighbor or something, "Are you going to town?" Blah blah blah, and so on.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't even own a car, like.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that owning a car isn't the problem,
Mm-hmm.
or wanting things isn't the problem. The problem is like stuff like I just saw this documentary by Michael Moore
Mm-hmm.
about how they served polluted water to the people down in Flint
Mm-hmm.
in America, and like they became very sick and stuff, and nobody did anything to change it really because it was a corrupt system. Thinking about that, is it any like enigma why we are having COVID-19 when people can do that to other people?
Yeah, I don't know
They
what
got sick, really sick.
Mm.
And I'm thinking like, if the system can do this to you, to a whole town, and like all the meaningless wars we have and so on, it makes me think. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just speaking my thoughts.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I'm just yeah. There's nothing to argue against it. You're absolutely right. It's the most wars are stupid or just fought over resources or even worse, some religion or something. My God is bigger than your God and something like that. So
Yes.
that's really senseless in my point of view. But here it's a little bit like I don't really know. Maybe you have or we can talk about it if you have an idea. What can we do against it? Because what I said, the small parts, like not buying too much stuff, not using too much plastic, and being careful with your waste management and whatever. This I can do. I can do on my own in my little circle of influence. I can do that, but like the bigger parts, what you just said, the wars and all these conflicts, how, do you have an idea how you could influence that? Because where I'm so far removed, I don't want to say that I have no power to do anything. I can start a petition and I can start a campaign or go on the street with a placard and say something. I can do that. I'm just not really sure if I reach the right people and what effect does it really have?
Well, actually, you're right. The only thing we can do as individuals is to fight for democracy.
Mm-hmm.
Because with democracy and a stable democracy comes the freedom of choice and also the ability to listen to minds that really think about the result of what they say and do. Good leaders are one thing. A people that is living in freedom and can make their own choices is also very important.
Mm-hmm.
I think that law and justice and all that shit, it's very important to keep things in some kind of pattern. So that, like, if there is a violent person who's like killing people around, okay, he gets locked away because he's a problem in this democracy or in this system, in this society. But except for these things, I think that it's very important with freedom of choice, and that especially comes to leaders. When we're choosing leaders, you see that all the time. Leaders like are not chosen; they are chosen through a corruption or a corrupt system, and they sit there for like years and years and years and just destroy everything that society is about. And in the end, that society just wants war. just wants to break out in a frenzy because they're so angry at everything. And that's the problem with leaders. If it's a corrupt system, you will have hate, you will have aggression, you will have senseless violence and problems that are issued actually towards the system they are caught in, trapped in. And that's why it's very important with good leaders and with democracy to change something at least. So yes, that's all I know.
Yeah, I have to admit, I grew up behind the Iron Curtain. So I was in East Germany. I don't know if you know this. I guess you know the history of Europe. There was a Second World War, and after this, Germany got separated in West Germany and East Germany, the Russian zone and the Allied zone. And I was in the Russian zone, and so I kind of know. I mean, I was 14 as the wall came down, so I will not overstress this, but I still grew up in a society where you were locked away for saying what you wanted to say and talking truth or wanted to have a real election, a real democracy. So, and then after the war came down, I was like, oh, democracy. I didn't know, and now I'm kind of more with you again, because democracy is not the best thing we can have, but it's one thing that really seems to work in a way that at least you need to work on compromises. You need to you have different opinions, and you try to make the best out of it, because the easiest way to get a decision is you have a ruler, you have a king, you have a Kaiser or whatever, and he says what it's true and what's not true. It's easy. There's only one person to ask, but of course, this one person is only this one person. So this is only cool for one real person and all the suck-ups who kind of are there with him or her. So democracy works far better, because when you have people really chosen by the people where they are representing, So it's not perfect, because there's always fringes, There's always I don't know. Pardon me?
No. But we do our best as a human race, really. I think that we are doing better than we did, because we have evolved and we have started to see ourselves in a different light and see the problems. That's a big step for us all towards the right way to go, I think, because it really is if we were on the stage like Neanderthals still, right?
Yep.
What could we do to defend ourselves against a solar crisis or something? We have all this technology and all this development under our feet. We have changed the world, really done a lot of discoveries. I think it's really cool, all that, but we need to have the ability to choose leaders that are intelligent. That really think through things. That's the one thing that's missing. Leaders that care about their people, really do care about their people, and don't get paid under the table to not give a fuck.
But see, this is exactly the problem is, if you get power will corrupt you, and I think a lot of people start out at a really nice place and really want to help the people and are really honest and really want to do something for the society and help out people. But when they grow in influence and get if you kind of say, we are a good company, we give you this amount of money or whatever, you get there. So my question to you would be, how would you, just in an ideal world, how would you choose the right person to rule or the right persons to rule? How would you choose these people and protect them from their power hunger or from bad influences that they can be bought or something? How would you do that?
Yes, exactly.
If you
That's a
could.
very good question. But there's two things I've noticed in a good leader. One, they're not materialistically minded. They don't really care too much about money and power. They just are elected as leaders by people because they do a good job.
Yep.
They care about who they rule. And I think the second is the intelligence level. What have they done before you choose them as leaders? What have they done for people around them and the society they were living in? Even if it was just a little town, they were like running around in and doing good deeds. You know, like it has a lot of things you can see it from. It's just about finding good people.
No, I'm absolutely with you. It's kind of, it's almost there's a Bible verse for it. You should not judge someone from what he's talking about, but what he's doing. You know,
Exactly.
because a lot of politicians, at least I guess in your part of the world, it's the same as here. Politicians can kind of talk very well and really seem intelligent and whatever, but their deeds, the things they really do, are sometimes speaking much louder than words. And so yeah, I get you here, and this is. So while you were talking, I was thinking about our current chancellor, and I guess we have Chancellor Merkel, and she's she's a East German like me, so grew up behind the Iron Curtain, and she's a physicist by trade. She studied. So in this kind of Corona times, I'm pretty happy to have her. I'm not the biggest fan of her, but with, like always, you can always find faults on people. But at the moment, we have a leadership who believes in science, who does the necessary steps, and who doesn't. If you compare it with Trump, we are so much better off. So here in Germany, I have to admit, I don't know Norway. What is your leadership at the moment in Norway?
Well,
you have a female president as well, right? Or
she's okay, but the guy who is running the stuff with the Corona situation,
the health minister, most likely.
Yes, exactly. He's doing quite a good job. Actually, he is telling everyone to be careful and don't get into masses and like don't go to home parties and stuff like that, and like try to stay safe. He's doing as best as he can, really. I have nothing bad to say about his attempt to save us from this situation. When it comes to other countries like Sweden, I see that it's gone far beyond bad sometimes. So we have been lucky with the choice of leadership until now, at least.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask something. I forgot. What did I just had a thought. What's the situation? Do you have to wear masks in your area when you go shopping or something like this?
No, not yet. But we have like this liquid that you have on your hands, so you don't get. If you have the virus, you will not send it right to the next person where you touched something.
Hand sanitizers and stuff.
Yes, and there is talk now about having this munbind, as they call it.
The mask.
The mask. Yes. So we'll just see where it ends up, but it's. I think personally, I understand the youth that wants to party at summer.
Yep, of course.
You see that the consequences has been that a lot of people who are young and are supposed to live long lives and all this, they get sick and they spread it around everywhere, and that's the result of that. So it's like, and they say that if you are unlucky, you can die from it, even if you're young.
Yep, yeah.
So they should kind of take that into the equation before they hey, let's party.
And even worse, the thing is, yes, their chances are better to get through it, as far as I know. I mean, we don't know everything about it yet, so. But the problem is, they party and they might survive it and everything is fine. But then they go home to their parents and then they visit their grandparents and they have maybe conditions, but kind of they have already not the best health. And then they kill their grandparents. And just imagine how this would feel to you just because you wanted to have a party. You killed your grandparents. And this is really, this is harsh, but it's the truth. This can happen. This is I completely we both have been young, right? So we know we wanna go out and party and find a girl or whoever your orientation is, a girl, a boy, or whatever. But it's just we're living in different times now. We have to accept it. And of course, for us, you and me, who are already a little bit older, it's easier to accept, and we find our peace with it. But trust me, here was a lockdown, and the schools were closed, and I had to homeschool my daughter. I'm not alone. I'm together with my wife, of course. But I was really, I got crazy. You can. My daughter is 7, and you cannot. I tried to play with her and be a companion, but I'm not a 7-year-old, I never, I got...
I understand.
After a while, I got so fed up, I was like, just be silent. Just let's go through the woods and be silent. Listen to the silence, because she was like, and, it's fine. And she's a little girl, and she's unfazed by all this, and she doesn't understand. I mean, she understands a little bit, but it was so tough, I tell you. Oh man! So I'm so happy that the schools are opening up here in Germany again. So let's see how things will go, because we have to kind of keep a certain level of normality, to go back to kind of a normal life, because otherwise, when it's really the question, so why bother? Why go on anyway? Okay, this sounds far bleak when I mean it to, but it was a tough time. So it seems like we both are lucky in the countries we are living in. So let's move on to some nicer stuff. So what kind of new music you are working on? Because you have 100 albums out there, so you're working on the 101 album, I'm pretty sure. So what are you working on currently?
At the moment, I'm working on an album that I will call Sunracer. It's kind of like more trippy.
Okay.
It's like more of the metal stuff and not so much dubstep and so on.
Cool.
And a little on the goth side.
Oh, that sounds like my stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, send me the link once you have finished it. I'm really, and just, you didn't ask, but I'm still owe you a few vocal tracks for our new EP, because for the listeners out there, we also formed the yeah, the metal step duo,
King Sinister.
King Sinister, exactly. And I'm just waiting for my friend who's very busy, unfortunately, to finish the artwork for the next EP. And most of the songs should be almost ready. I think I'm lacking behind with my cover. I still have to do that because we want to cover Sisters of Mercy, of course. You know, our great influence. And you made a cool song. I mean, a cool cover version. So I need to record that still. But anyway, how do you come up usually with your ideas for new material? Because I mean, you're churning out so much stuff, so it's like you constantly have a creative flow. It seems like, you know, some people, some artists are like, you know, they do one album and they need a year to recharge. You kind of do one album and then you take 2 days to recharge, and then you have a next one. So, what is your how do you write your music? Just guide us through your creative process.
Well, the first thing I do when I'm starting to work on something is to make the first song perfect. It's like to work and work and work on the first track, and like, what is the essence of this, and what does it try to say?
Mm-hmm.
And then I like write down the lyrics and stuff if I need to do so, and I kind of just work through it. It's like a day job to me, really. It's about evolving new things, new ideas, and like getting inspired by life and its changes and its lessons.
Mm-hmm.
It's I don't know. There's so many things I see and hear that affects me in this world,
Mm-hmm.
and I meet people and I get into situations and stuff that inspire me.
Mm-hmm.
And when I do so, I work to balance out the psychological aspect of it.
Mm.
That's why I make a lot of music, because I have a lot of speed in my head. It's like it's always charged with these impressions, and I need to get to express them in a way.
Yeah, no, I always found it funny when you know artists get asked, so how did you get inspired for your new album and stuff? Because it's like, man, everything what surrounds you, every little thing. If you go shopping and the cashier looks nice at you or bad or whatever, this is something that kind of makes an impression on you. And if you are a musical or a creative person, every of these things that happens to you kind of resonate and get a response, right? So and that's why I always think it's funny when people ask, so what do you think about how did you come up with this title or with that title? You know, sometimes of course, you know, some of I don't know, metal bands or progressive bands or whatever, we have like a whole album arc where we go through Tolkien stories or whatever, you know, when of course it's quite clear what inspired them. But for a normal artist, it's everything can be inspiring. A nice talk with your wife or with your friends or whatever. This can be an inspiration, or just sitting outside. I guess you know, I've never visited you, and now with COVID-19 it will be tougher. But I can imagine that you sit sometimes outside of your house and just look up in the sky, and this can be inspiration. Yeah.
Of course.
I'm on vacation at the moment. That's why I have lots of time to talk with people I really find interesting, like you, my brother. And I'm also doing some house sitting for a friend of mine who has a house in the woods, and I really enjoy it a lot. I don't do anything. I just sit out there on the lawn and watch in the sky and listen to the animals of a forest. and just enjoying this. But I can I can feel a connection with nature and just, I'm being recharged. I can really feel it that you have like a battery inside, and you get more energy to, and then it will burst out, and I will express myself. So that's why I never force myself to do something, because I know there's like there's bubbling up inside of me, and someday it will hit me, and then I will do the song, what we are working on, or what I work on with my band, and it will just be better than if I would force myself to do something. And it seems to me like you are the same, that you just be like open-minded. You go open-minded through the world, and everything can influence you, and you kind of make art of it. Whatever comes in, you change and make into art, basically. So
it's kind of like that. I'm very often inspired by people's choices and people's actions, in a way, in all areas of life. It inspires me to express what I think about it, and what eventually I think will come out of it. And it just makes me want to express it in a musical way, what I feel about it and think about it. I think it's all about, like you said, it's very deep, really, that when you sit in the woods and you just listen to like birds tweeting and stuff, and like looking at the trees and the grass and everything we really have under our feet as this human race, and you see the greatness of everything that we haven't changed. And then you see what we have changed, and you see that it's not all bad, but we have a lot to learn. And then you want to speak about it.
Yeah. And what you just said is, I also feel a bit humbled, and it's humbling that, and also, with this, you also realize, or at least I can only talk for myself, of course, but you don't need much. Yeah. If you just walk bare feet on nice warm grass, that's such a nice feeling, and it makes you happy, and it makes you one with the world. And you don't need the latest iPhone, you don't need the latest tweet, you don't need the latest whatever. Yeah, it's just you in the moment, enjoying nature. And this is so easy. I had where I used to work before, I really had not so good boss, and I kind of resigned because of her, and I was really getting a lot of stress from her. And what I realized was really helping me is just taking long walks in the woods. I didn't need any medication. I didn't need any other things, to calm me down. Just walking in the woods and being aware of your being, of yourself, and just it calms you down, and it doesn't cost anything. Yeah. To do that, it's not. You don't have to pay for therapy. You don't have to pay for drugs. You don't have to pay for iPhones or whatever, and it calms you down. It settles you. It makes you humble. It makes you. I mean, we're talking very esoteric here, but it makes you one with the world, and I really like that. So that's what I meant earlier. Once you go through, you know that you don't really need much. You need good friends, you need enough food, you need shelter. That's all what you need, yeah? And then the other things can happen, because, yeah, I mean, we are both musicians and we are both artists. We want to express ourselves, but I know you are not in it for the money. I mean, I guess you wouldn't mind becoming rich and famous, but
To help others, it would be a good idea, but for my own well-being, I'm okay.
yeah, and I of course, I wouldn't mind. I love my job I have right now. I have a really good job, but if I could sustain myself from what I really love to do, I would maybe not resign, but I would cut my hours considerably. So yeah. Anyway, but what I wanted to say, it's just, I mean, what I can wrap it up is like, yeah, be aware of the things you really need and what are really good for you and what are bad for you, because sometimes going back to the COVID-19 parties, of course, teens need this. They need to have parties, but sometimes it's just they're under peer pressure and they need to go there because, I don't know, Samantha said she's going and I'm going, and if I'm not going, I'm out and I'm not in. And, sometimes it's also going for the wrong reasons or something, just to show off and or to kind of belong to the crowd. I guess here I'm older as well and don't really need to fit in so much anymore. Like when I was younger, I wanted to kind of please everyone. Something like that.
Yeah, I know the feeling. It's like when you're at that stage in life, you like you need the what's it called? People to kind of address you and like you in a way as you present yourself.
Exactly.
Yes. It's very strange, but it's very natural too.
No, of course, it's. I mean, we are all have been there. We are just, we are just two old dudes talking about like it was as we were young, and
on the rise. The 60s are back.
Yeah, no. It's every I see it like every age has its benefits or whatever. I'm in the lucky position now. I don't know if I have told you that, but I have now a real band for Megalmodash, my music project, which I started alone. And I'm the oldest now. I have two people who are just 20, and one is 25 or 26, and so this kind of keeps me young as well. Let's put it this way, because we have different thoughts and different ideas, but music is such an universal language. We still click and we still have the same passion, and that's what kind of brings us together. And so I wouldn't say that I really how you say? No, I don't say it wrong, but that I understand whether I'm kind of with them, but I understand them. Maybe I can put it this way. I understand their passion, and even if I'm not that young anymore, I don't feel that old. I always thought like I'm 44 now. And I always thought like, oh man, then life is over and this is done. This is kind of, you would have settled down, you have a family and okay, I have a family. And, but still I guess what makes us a little bit different is we're still hungry. We still want to do a little bit more. We still want to kind of put our mark on the world, to kind of have at least a little influence on them. With our music and the things what are important for us. That's why we are also talking that people can find us and understand us better and see what's behind Simplefixty. And, there's a real person there and not just the image. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, Yeah, I think you're very right about that because, like, the way we present, like in covers and stuff, our music,
Hmm.
um, it's kind of ethereal. It's more like, like you take the message you want through and you like superimpose it on a
Hmm.
cover, for example. Like you really make it big
Hmm.
and like whoa, what the fuck, this is cool, I have to listen,
Hmm.
and but the persons behind it can be really modest people
Hmm.
who like are thinking like deep thoughts about the world and not just
Hmm.
about like I'm
Hmm.
gonna rule everything.
Yeah, yeah, no, exactly. This is I
Yeah.
talked about. I talked about with my guitarist about Rammstein, and
Mm.
Rammstein, were perceived as this big theatrical show and stuff, but there's real person behind this band,
Mm.
I mean, this is and they're not running around in lady dresses or fake blood in their private life. They have a normal private life like we all
Mm.
have, It's just for the show, just for the act. We do something very special and very big and theatrical, but there's people behind them, So and
Mm.
it's the same with you. I mean, you just told me that you're changing your sound a little bit, but in the past it was kind of this dark, gloomy, gothy person, Simplefixty, very ominous and don't really know what to think of it. But
Mm.
yeah, then I got to know you, and of course I knew there was a real person behind it. But knowing you even better, you're one of you're a very sweet, kind person, So I would have never expected, because yeah, I talked with other people who are, how should I say, they are more full of themselves. Let's put it this way.
I see, I see. Yeah,
Yeah.
I met them too.
I guess you did,
It's
you did,
like
yeah.
that, like egos that are
Mm.
big as
And it's fine.
skyscrapers
I
or
mean,
something.
you need a certain ego to do something. I mean, this is also,
Yeah,
you know,
that's
um,
true. That's true.
uh, going out in the world and presenting your music today. Okay, for one part, it's very easy to do that today because everyone can do it. Everyone can throw stuff together on a cell phone and puts it out, and this is my music and deal with it. But
Mm.
on the other hand, if you really mean it, like you are more serious artist, and then you also make yourself vulnerable. People
Exactly.
find your stuff and say, "Oh, this sounds like shit. This is really bad," and then it can hurt you, and because you worked on the song and it really means something for you, and then somebody just listens for 20 seconds and says, "Oh, this is really bullshit," and whatever.
Mm.
So you kind of make yourself, you kind of present your inner heart to the world, and they can stab it, and they can
Yeah.
really hit you hard. So this kind of closes the loop to Rammstein or something, because it's so much easier to have a stage persona and to kind of, be someone else on stage, be this monster, people
Mm.
which you are not in real life, because then it's harder to get you, yeah. Because
Exactly.
if you be too honest, if you be too much yourself, then people will butcher you. They'll kind of
Yeah.
yeah. This
Tell
is
you apart.
yeah, exactly, and this can happen, and I don't want to overstress it, but it's if you're a serious musician or a serious artist and you really pour your heart into what you're doing, yeah,
Mm.
then this can really really hurt you, and I guess you know this yourself, that
Mm. Mm.
you had some bad experiences. Me too, and so you be more how you say, you step back a little bit and look at it first, and you be a little bit more cautious. That's the word,
Yeah.
to put out things. But on the other hand, if you're a real artist, you also need to. You have the need to do something, and to also put something out in the world. And then, of course, there's also the positive side, which you know as well. When you get feedback from your fans and say, "Oh man, this really resonated with me, and I really understand what you were about in this song and what you meant, and I really get you," and this is also, this is the greatest thing that can happen to you. But just take the both of us. You're in Norway and I'm in Germany, so I mean we are not so far apart. But you could do the same with someone from Mexico. He could say, "Oh man, Simplefixty, that's it. I really get it," and he would call you up or write you a message. And this is great. This is this is the good part of it, but it can also be the bad part. So, but just because the bad part can happen, I still would do it because the good outweighs the bad. I think, in my opinion. And after a while, and you're doing music long enough, after a while you kind of know, some people are they have a bad day, and then you just go over it, and well, it's their problem.
You just brush it off. You
Exactly.
get harder. Really. You're like, in the end, you are like, okay, you may like it, you may not, but I have expressed what I mean.
Exactly.
So it's like, you get stronger by the years. You can take a lot of more crap without like falling to pieces in a way.
Exactly. And it's also, we are both doing not pop music or something where we want to please fans or where we kind of want to be in the top 40s or something. We want to make the music we really feel and want to do. So, that's why it's so much more honest. If people like it, then they really like us and not just, okay, I just said the image we are creating. I mean, we are always creating a little bit of an image, I mean, this Simplefixty image is not the person who's really... It is the person who's behind it, but not completely. You see what I mean? You're still having this musical role you play there, and that's absolutely fine. But anyway, you're easy approachable. I was just talking with another guy just the other day, and I said, it was so easy with you making a collaboration. I just sent you some stuff, and you made you made my music so much better in remixing it and stuff. And I would never thought that it would be so easy to work with you and stuff. But that's the nice thing in these days. Again, it's easy to just hit each other up, and we talk a lot on Twitter, and so if people want to reach out to you, we can, I guess, and find you there, and then just say, do you like this music, or do you want a collaboration, or whatever, and then anyway,
I like to collaborate. I dig producing stuff. Like remixing and so on,
and you're doing it great.
I mean, it's good. It's good.
Yeah. This is. I remember where we started. I sent you my stuff, and you made it so much better. You made it actually so much better that I don't play the original things anymore. I play the version you created now, because your version of my song is much better than my own. So it's you made it so much better.
Cool. Wow, that's really good to hear.
Yeah. Okay. So we are a little bit over an hour now. Is there something you still wanna say to the people who might wanna listen to us talking out there in the world?
I want to say that the best thing you can do when you are a musician or you are listening to music is the stuff that makes you feel better in life. If it's hard metal, rock, whatever, if it's metal step, dubstep, whatever, industrial, you name it, rap even, if it makes you a better person to understand these artists, that's the clue. Because collaboration and to help each other is the clue to surviving. So whatever gets you going, charges your batteries and makes you a better you in a way, more recharged and able to understand the world like it is. That's all I want to say. Do it.
That's a very good word. Because
make a choice in life.
Yeah, I think so too. Because sometimes I have a feeling like people see it like a fight, and all are against each other, and only one can win or something. But it's not. It's not true in my opinion. Because I see it like we are all in this together, and if I can help you, I will help you. And if you are successful, then I'm happy for you. There is no. Why should I not be happy with you? And if I can help you along the way, why wouldn't I do that? It's not. I see. I have a very broad spectrum of music I like. So that's why I know if you're successful in one thing. It doesn't mean you're successful in another thing. So there's enough space for everyone. I don't want to listen to the same stuff every day, So even yours, even if I like your stuff, sometimes I want to hear something else. Sometimes I want to hear pop music, or I want to hear hard rock, or just straight up metal or something like that. And so that's why I'm kind of seeing. I don't get why people are so sometimes like. Okay, no, only I and not someone else to help, because you never know when you help somebody, then somebody else can help you, and this also changes your whole attitude. What I discovered is, if somebody asks me and I help them, then I also think these thought to the world. This means that if I do it for someone else, I also expect others to help me, like you did, for example. I just ask you, oh, you want to remix some of my songs? Yes, you did, and and it just happened. If I would never think that somebody else who's in this and who wants to make it big and who only thinks about himself and not let anyone else happen, then I would have never thought this, oh, let's do a collaboration, let's do this and that, and see where we can go. You see, I would have kind of curtailed myself, or I would have kind of put blinders on and not seeing left or right, because, I would have never expected that people would be nice to each other in this whole music industry or something. And so you understand my point is, if you think like this, it will happen like this, because you see the world through the lenses you put on yourself, to the glasses you make, and if you think positive,
you make your reality.
Exactly.
By choice.
Exactly. That's the point. If you think the world is bad, then it is bad. If you think the world is good, it's good. And if you think it can be both, like I think, sometimes it's a little bit bad, sometimes it's a little bit good, then you have more options, basically.
Exactly.
That's basically it. And this is the nice thing of today. As I talked, I've talked with a few others already, and it's great. We can talk. We can connect worldwide. And once again, I'm sorry, I'm stressing this. I grew up behind iron curtains. I never thought that I would go to the United States, or I lived in Canada. I lived in Africa. I never thought I would leave the country. And for me, this is so much freedom. We have, and now we have so much freedom to talk with each other, to collaborate on music, to to create new things we want to hear. You know, that's the greatest freedom I can think of. There's no right or wrong in music. There's just what you want and how to express yourself. And if it doesn't, you know, if some others don't get it, then it is still good music. You understand? You know, there's no right or wrong here. And I really love this freedom we have.
Me too. Definitely. It's much better than what it used to be in a way. We have evolved a lot as we have moved on through the latter years that's been, and up until now. I think we're on the right path, and we are starting to see what works and doesn't work.
Yep.
So I'm quite content. I just want like more of it to happen, so that people see that things aren't black and white.
Yep.
They really are a long line of grays and areas too, and you can meet I know a couple of people on Twitter, by Twitter, like they're making like more pop music in a way than I normally listen to, but because they have interesting views of the world, they have lyrics that I like. I will help them because I understand the view from they're coming from, and that's what it's about. It's not about like chaining yourself to one style in music and like just hanging on for their life and like I'm not gonna listen. That doesn't help you. You have to open your eyes
and open your ears.
Yes, exactly. Hell no evil.
No. This is so exactly. It's I'm completely with you. I just can say yes. You're right. It's kind of I also like to discover new music and being blown away by stuff that I never would thought. You know, I kind of understand why we need certain genres and you know that I know this is hard rock and this is that and whatever, but sometimes music doesn't really fit in this and this is also what I like. You know, this is evolution. This is so what if you come up with a new style and it has no name? What now? And then you cannot put it somewhere. And you know, if you would have told this people like 60, 70 years ago and then this is blues, but there's only blues and there's only blues and then it became something else, you know. Then it became like rock music and rock and roll and hard rock and you know. So it's always evolving. It's not a dead animal. It's something that lives and grows and becomes something else and becomes a big beast of something. And the cool stuff, there's something for everyone, you know.
Exactly.
And like you said with the pop music, sometimes I just wanna. It's like with the movies, you know. You want to see a movie where you don't want to think. Then you see a popcorn movie with a lot of action and big explosions and stuff where you don't have to think much, with a very simple plot. But sometimes I want to sit down and really enjoy music and listen to the little intricate parts of it. When I listen to something else, when I listen to some more, to some more deeper music, let's put it this way. You know, it can also be it doesn't need to be progressive metal or whatever. It can also be a nice pop song where you can really find meaning in it if you look for it, you know, if you take the time to really listen to it. Not just sometimes sometimes I just want something in the background. Then I don't want to be too disturbed by it. So, you know, when I don't know. It's it's like the Himmel über Berlin versus like Terminator 2 or something. Like Terminator 2 is a good movie too.
Okay, straightforward story, and everybody gets killed except the child and the mom, right? And like that's the story. That's it. It's like Judgment Day and blah 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 blah. But when you come to Himmel über Berlin, I love that movie because it's so extremely intelligently put together. And of course, Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds on the scene at the end of the movie. I love the show. Really cool. So it's like the depths you can chew through before you need something more superficial, something more simple is always there. But you will see yourself more clearly when you see what you need most of in life. Some people, they are more on the surface. They move around on the surface most of their lives and just live on the surface. And do choices that the surface tells them to do. And other people, they want to dive down beneath the surface and find the answers. And these people are what changes things for the better, because they come up again with answers to questions that those who only move in the safe spots and areas of life doesn't see. They don't react to it before it hits them in the face in a way. So it's like I think the point is that everybody's different, and we need it that way, because the people on the surface are what ticks around in the world, and like, okay, they work and produce stuff, and they like make it a world that goes around. They are like, what should I call, the wheels that drives it, the society. But what they learn, how they evolve, how they become something better or different, is always set by the inventors and by the people who dive down, and for God's sake, they mostly of them does not survive in the end because it's too much emotionally. And many of them are very intelligent people, but also sensitive, so they like croak in the process. But many come up again and resurface, and they have answers for situations, and they kind of make the world better in the end. No, and that's what music is all about, really.
You touched on something very important, because you said everyone is important in this whole process. You have people like who make the world turn, who are maybe a little bit more superficial. And then you have the deep thinkers who dive deep in something, but you need both. And this is a really good point. That you should never be too full of yourself, because you need the others to survive as well. It's not you're not better than the others. You're just different. Like everyone else is different, and you. And everyone is needed, It's like in a society, you need the garbage truck as much as the professor who does this very delicate operation or something. Both is needed, yeah. And nothing is really it's better or worse, because if the professor doesn't get his garbage taken away, then there will be coming rats, and there will be infections and diseases and stuff. So the garbage workers are as important, yeah. And sometimes it's just like in our society, that's a little bit the wrong part of it, that some professions are frowned upon, and some are better paid, or some even worse paid or something. And this is just one indication, but you're still important. There can be some stuff like a stock market trader who are not that important in my point of view, but this is kind of, I'm biased, So I just said that everyone is important, so there might be an important for him as well, or her. But yeah, my point is basically, be humble. Don't kind of think, because sometimes I sit down and think a lot, I'm so much better than you. who are not thinking and just going out and drinking or whatever, or just having a party or just wanted to see a stupid movie. Yeah, this is fine as well, because these people are there for you too, and this is your folks you are with. So you cannot, you are not an island, you will
Exactly.
you are connected to these people around you. So being or thinking that you are better than them doesn't help you at all in talking with them, because then you will talk down on them and say, oh, you are idiots and I'm clever. So this is a perfect conversation starter.
Yeah.
and so
Everything has a reason, and everything has a purpose, and most things have an explanation. If one person, for example, does something really stupid, there's always a story behind why. And if someone does something very clever, it's the same. Everything has a reason. Everything is a chain of reaction, a chain reaction in a way. But still, we are parts in some kind of machinery that we have built from the ground up as a human race. And I think I talk a little about it in Feed the Machine, that it's like either you're blind and controlled by the machine, and the machine makes you corrupted and like a bad person, but it's a choice you make. Because the machine is needed, the machinery, the parts, the wheels, the everything is needed to make the world go around for the human race. But it's like when you feed the machine too much, when you like are controlled by the bad things in the machinery, it can be devastating to the entire world. So it's about the choices you make, really. When you help each other, you are really like making this machinery work again. Because what it's all about, how it is made and how it is built, is on some sort of democracy that makes people thrive and invent and discover and work hard, really, really hard, towards something that we can't even see coming many times. Like the TV, radio, the L guitar, whatever. There's so many things we have invented and created and accomplished. And psychology, on the other hand, for example, we have made giant steps in understanding people and psychic situations. What should be done to help each other in situations where we are on the brink of insanity. I was like totally lost for a while, but I was kind of dead set that I would not give up until I had tried everything to not end up in a situation that was like more like suicide or something. And after, I think I was running around psychotic and schizophrenic off and on in like 5 or 6 years before I got the medication and found the medication that I needed. And the thing that sealed that was that I met a psychiatrist that really understood my illness and was kind of he was really, really smart. And he heard me through what I was working with and on in the music and stuff, and how I was feeling from day to day and stuff like that. And suddenly he just knew try this, and I tried the first fucking medication I tried, and it worked as a dream.
Mm-hmm.
So we need all kinds of people,
Yep.
really. We need the hunter to survive, to have meat, and we need the farmer to produce stuff, and so on and so on and so on. Everybody has a value, but the value shouldn't be set by the fellow man. It should be equal to all,
Mm-hmm.
to make a better situation for everyone. Because I have noticed that in the human race there is always the a room for error, and that can grow immensely and become something almost devastating. Like people can become really evil and resenting and crazy in their head, in the choices they make, because they are not being understood, or maybe they feel like something or someone has hurt them so much that they just tip over. They lose sight of realism. They lose sight of other people's needs and other people's right to have an opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And they become selfish in a way that can make them not give a fuck who they hurt and what they do and how they manipulate situations. And that's the bad part of humanity. The good part of humanity is what kind of develops over these stages over time and sees beyond them, sees that, okay, I was hurt, but next time I'll do better. And maybe like, okay, I was damaged, but next time I'll be harder and be aware that this can happen, and then I will make other choices and we'll see how that goes, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's how life is. You learn.
Mm-hmm.
But if you learn the right things, you make more right choices. And that can also procedurally make you a good leader, because you have been through so much of the issues in life that are on different sides of living, that you in the end make good choices for others too, not just yourself. And that's experience in a nutshell, I think. Really.
Yeah, no, it's actually quite good. It's kind of like you deal with bad things that happen to you. Basically, you can either break down, or you can say, like you just said, get a little bit harder, get better through it, and learn, and just next time you see this coming or something, but don't don't harden your thoughts. That's what I meant with if you think bad about all the other people, then they will be bad, or whatever the hell happened to you. You kind of taint your world in this badness, and but if you are more positive, and even something bad happens to you, then you see, okay, this really didn't went well, but I know now this doesn't work, and now I try something else, and I get up to my feet again, and start over with something new. And this is also, it's actually maybe we should stop it here, because it was a nice end point. That
I think so.
Yeah, but it was we talked more about philosophical themes, but that's fine, of course. That's also very important. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. I wish you all the best, and you will hear back from me the latest once I did the songs finally finished, and when I send them to you, my lyrics, my vocals, your way. And I wish you all the best. Stay strong, stay safe. Stay healthy, and do much more new music. And yeah, thank you for your time.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.